Hi, my name is Nick Spear, and today I'll be going over practical cyber defense for small businesses. So, 88% of small business owners feel like their business is vulnerable to a cyber attack. And the sad part is that's probably true. Small businesses across the United States are often victims of cyber attacks, but you're probably not going to hear that on the news too much. And more so than ever, traditional businesses are now online businesses. And small businesses rely on digital infrastructure and software to get their job done. Um, it's no longer using phone and fax. Now you're using email and digital file keeping. Nothing's in paper anymore. And it's super important that you have the proper protection in place to protect your small business against potential cyber attacks. Here's a quick story of how I learned this the hard way. I help a small business with some software, some website building, and just making sure computers work right. And one week, my client got a suspicious email, or at least I thought it was suspicious. Unfortunately, he did not, and he fell for a phishing attack. So he gave his password away to hackers. Not good, right? This led his Office 365 account to getting broken into, and hackers took advantage of his email address to send out more phishing attacks to all of our clients. Really not good. Fortunately, we were able to remedy the situation afterwards, but that was not the end of the attack. Since Office 365 was ran through our GoDaddy account as well, the hacker was able to get into our GoDaddy account, and he used this to cause all sorts of havoc, wrecking our file backups, our website servers, and even messing up our domain configurations to point to malicious websites. And additionally, he was able to get into our WordPress site by exploiting a file manager plugin that was out of date, and this just was devastating. It was like a hurricane went through town and destroyed all of our digital assets. And I took this lesson the hard way. And in rebuilding these digital assets, I put some steps in place in order to protect the business. And so far, we've had no problems and we've been able to thwart hackers all the time. Having the proper protection in place is key to cyber defense, and preventative maintenance is all it really takes to really secure your business a lot better. But the problem is, small businesses lack the resources and time and energy to actively prevent cyber attacks. They're focused on their business, not thwarting hackers, and a lot of small business owners aren't as computer savvy as hackers, and they can't really think ahead all the time. But fortunately, there's some small steps we can take to strengthen your cyber defense. And I feel strongly that anyone is able to strengthen their defense and prevent hackers, even if you don't know too much about computers. Additionally, if that's too much for you, you could always hire an outside firm to do cybersecurity analysis and prevention. Additionally, following this cyber attack, our company bought cybersecurity insurance that can repay damages due to business loss incurred by attacks. And this is probably a good idea for a lot of small businesses. Um, Cybersecurity attacks can cause thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars for small businesses, and you might want to protect yourself financially. Additionally, our insurance company provides us a cybersecurity report every quarter where they look through all of our systems and point out any flaws or vulnerabilities that they may see, which is a great bonus. So, this is what I call the bare minimum. These are steps that any person or any small business can take to really strengthen their cyber defense. And this is in order of importance as well. And first and foremost, you should always, always, always use a password manager and enable two factor authentication whenever possible. This is basically the best way to prevent cyber attacks. You never know who's gonna look at the post-it on your desk and use that to get into your account. Basically, a password manager is able to store all your passwords without you needing to memorize them, and it makes it very convenient for accessing your accounts. Additionally, in my situation with the email account being broken into, if my client had two-factor authentication enabled on his email account, the hacker wouldn't have been able to break into his email account and cause all that future damages. So it is incredibly important that whenever possible, you should always enable two-factor authentication, and please use a file password or please use a password manager um, instead of your dog's name and your birthday. It's not that hard for a hacker to figure those two things out. Additionally, you should use an encrypted file cloud server to store all of your important files. I found when speaking to small businesses that they don't really trust services like Dropbox or Google Drive, and instead they keep all their files on their local machine. This is really bad because let's say your laptop gets swiped at a coffee shop, you just lost your most important files, and that could cause serious damages to your business. So you should always have a backup online of all your most important files so that if your laptop for some reason gets hacked or even just breaks, you'll have backups of your most important files and you'll be able to do business right away. It's incredibly important and also incredibly simple and convenient. So, since a lot of businesses I found don't like using OneDrive or Dropbox or Google Drive, I have a few alternatives to recommend. So, there's OneCloud, there's OwnCloud, and then there's also Citrix File Share. OneCloud and OwnCloud are a service based out of Switzerland. One is self-hosted, one is a managed hosting, so you pay for them to host it. It essentially works like Dropbox, and it's an encrypted service, and it's awesome. Uh, Citrix File Share is a little bit pricier, but it offers some more advanced features, and it's also encrypted, which is great. And my client uses that service for his business. Step number three would be to hire professionals to build a simple custom website. So this is either a static website or a full stack database backed website where it's as simple as possible for you to do your business tasks. And it's custom, so meaning it's not WordPress, it's not Squarespace or Wix, because often hackers are able to exploit vulnerabilities in WordPress or Wix to gain access to your website. And basically, one exploit, if it works for one service, it can work for your website too. And by having your own custom stack, you're possibly preventing these kinds of commonly known vulnerabilities from being exploited. Not to say that your website will be always secure, because there's also risks of JavaScript attacks or MySQL attacks. But a lot of those can be prevented in the building process of your custom website. And I would highly recommend hiring a professional to do this, uh, simply because they're able to make it more secure and also possibly take some of the pressure off you having to build your own website. It's very well worth it for any small business to spend a couple $1,000s to get a website built. Additionally, you should frequently update all your computers, networking equipment, operating systems, and software on your computer. Often, software providers provide patches for software for specifically cybersecurity reasons, and it's a great idea to keep everything up to date to prevent flaws from being exploited. So some extra security tips would include using a VPN and a network firewall that can much better protect your machines on your network. Additionally, you can harden your Windows systems by configuring some settings, including group policy. It's a good idea that Not everyone on your network has admin access to their computers or the network group policy. So employees should have a minimum amount of privileges necessary, and then admin access can be retained for the business owners as well as IT professionals that work with the business, if you have any. In conclusion, these are some small steps that small businesses can take that will make a huge difference in your cybersecurity. And I feel strongly that if you follow these 4 steps, that your cybersecurity will be much stronger and you can prevent most common cyber attacks. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.